I probably would not have jumped to another network. I'm pretty loyal.
You're the most loyal. That's why you're sitting here today with me.
Well,
You're
yeah, it's just, I sleep well at night. I don't have, I would read all these stories how I came back and demanded $150 million plus I wanted the show back. And the network had to give it to me. Based on what?
So I'm gonna take
how did I lose
I'm
it
gonna
in the
take you
first
through it.
place? Yeah.
This is so cathartic for me. I hope it's doing something for you.
All right, good.
Okay. So then,
Have you been sitting on all these emotions for
you
years?
have no idea how many times I've gotten in fights,
Yeah.
and I've talked to people that we both know, and go, "What the fuck are you talking about? That's not the way it happened."
I know, but
and
nobody knows
why the fuck doesn't Jay defend himself?
You know why? Because nobody cares.
Except for him. He cares.
No, what I mean is, what
That's not
happens
fair.
at the end of the day, pull the numbers. Okay, here we are 10 years after it's all over. Okay, the Tonight Show was number one the whole tenure, except for the first 18 months when Letterman had it. And that's the only number that counts.
No, you mean when Conan?
No. When Letterman went to CBS, he was beating me.
Yeah, that's
for
on the Tonight Show. Yes.
First 18 months. And then we got it back and never lost it. And we won in every demographic group and all that kind of stuff. And my attitude was Letterman will get the cool kids and the critics, and I'll take the popular vote. And that's pretty much how it worked out well for everyone.
And you engineered that. That's not by accident.
No, that's not by accident.
You engineered that because you could have the cool kids. I talked to you backstage.
Well, the thing
you
was,
have a different sensibility in real life than you do on network.
We did win. We did win all the demographic. I would always hear from Letterman, well, Letterman wins the 18 to. No, we didn't. We won that too. We won that. We always did pretty well.
So let me just follow this story because this is my therapy session for you on behalf of you.
All right.
Okay. So then what happens. You're doing your 10 o'clock show in prime time. Conan moves into the Tonight Show, and for all intents and purposes, the Tonight Show is not doing great.
Right, and somehow this is my fault.
So you get a call. And they ask you, before they ask Conan, because you're still on the network, would you be willing to go back and do a half-hour show at 11:35? Right? Am I correct?
Yeah, with just the monologue and all that stuff.
Just the monologue and maybe one guest.
But I said, run it past Conan.
Before he said yes, he said, run it past Conan. Now, Conan has not been doing well on The Tonight Show. The truth of the matter is they call Gavin and they say, we'll do the show at 11:35. We want Leno to do it at 11:35 and you go on at 12:05 and you still have the Tonight Show. You can do exactly what you're doing, but now we're giving you the opening act that has worked for the last 20 years, 15 years, whatever it was. It's that hissy fit that I didn't understand. And then the narrative, this is what bothers me about you, Jay. You didn't change the narrative. The narrative was he retired and now he's taking my job. He was still offered the Tonight Show. They wanted to reprogram it back. You said you go first. You were forced to. I don't know what you did wrong. I don't know what could be interpreted as you doing wrong. But there was all this hoopla, and maybe I live in a bubble where that's not the way people thought. You didn't deserve that negative hoopla.
Well,
it sounds like it's only because one person was vocal. So therefore...
Yeah. Well, my favorite thing was when they came to me, I said, we've been number one for 14 years. And I'm not going to say which executive said, we want what's above number one. I said, well, I don't know what,
you gotta tell
I don't know what to tell you. I just thought that was so funny. And they realized how stupid that sounded. They said what they were looking for was, I don't know, more pizzazz. When you do a show like The Tonight Show at 11:30, you can't be outrageous every night.
No.
It's like Sam Kinison, outrageous, hilarious comedy. But if you do it every night, you can't be outrageous every night. So you have to bring it down a step, and you've got to become now, okay, people lying in bed or watching late at night, it's got to be a bit more relaxed. It's got to have a different pacing to it, you know? And the idea was Do you want to be the cool guy and lose the Tonight Show after a few months? Or do you want to keep it going? Well, the idea, it's a business. You've been hired to do a job. So you have to act and perform a certain way to do that job.
But that didn't bother you?
No.
That didn't bother you? The hoopla of you, the thought or what people were talking about you taking something away from Conan.
Well, I mean, I would hear it all the time on Stern and all
Right.
that. And
I argued with him about that. You actually called me once after.
Oh,
I argued with him about
I
that.
always heard it on Stern too. Every time I
But
was
when I was on
Yeah,
once,
but I mean, I stole jaywalking from Howard. No, I mean, if anybody stole it, we all stole it from Steve Allen, who did it.
Man on the
back
Street.
in Man on the Street stuff, So what do you do? Because the louder you yell, they're going to yell even louder.
But you said you didn't want to say that you were retiring, that you were being forced to retire because of the 1,000 paper cuts. At this point, when they're saying you move back on and you're taking it away from Conan, is that 1,000? Is that 1,000 paper? What can they say? I didn't take it back. Why wouldn't you say they called? I told them to call you. I don't. They're offering me this.
I would be called a liar and be told that wasn't true. If they say it, it's a one-day story. If you then react, you now have a 3 or 4 day story. How many times have you seen this? Someone's accused of something, and they go, no comment. Well, how about no comment?
It's not a one-day story. All these 2 stories of you and Letterman and you and Conan became books, became TV shows, became mini. That's not a one-day story.
Maybe
No,
just
but what I
to
mean
handle
is, it would just, to the general public, it's like rich guys throwing silver dollars in the ocean to see who has the most money. It's like, just nobody cares. I was involved in it and I didn't care. Guys, talk yourselves out. Howard, have a good time. Trash me all you want, fine. I used to love it when he would go on Letterman. I'm going to trash Leno tonight. And then I'd check the ratings the next day and we would beat Howard.
I know.
And I was, oh, okay, that was good. I mean, I don't hate Howard. It's what he does, and that's fine. But I didn't steal John Melendez from Howard.
I know.
John Melendez was doing I'm a Celebrity.
I'm a Celebrity. Get me out of here.
Okay. So he did that whole show. When he left that show, he came to us, and somebody suggested he might be fun to have him. And I said, well, let's see if there's any problem here. Okay, he was making $35,000 a year doing Howard Stern. I paid him $500,000 a year. Who wouldn't take that raise? Who wouldn't take that job? Plus, he had another whole TV series in between. So he wasn't even on Howard. But, I would hear this thing about, Leno came in and took him. And then all the, and the minions would call you and berate you.